Hey, thank you all for coming today, and thanks to you who stopped by, and hopefully those of you that are watching online. I appreciate just this opportunity. I'm not going to be that long. There's just a couple of things I want to touch upon. So I really want to thank you for the opportunity to provide greater detail on several of the opportunities we mentioned in the State of the College address in August, and then I have another matter that I want to address that's been brought to my attention. You know, I've often used this quote by Eric Hoffer, and I like it because I think it has great foresight. Eric Hoffer, the philosopher, once said, "In times of change, learners inherit the earth while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists." In other words, in your academic and professional pursuits, if you stand still, you're going to find yourself falling so far behind that you're no longer to be able to excel or even function in an ever-changing world of the future. Because of this, we believe in not just the importance of, but the critical need for providing continuing professional development for faculty and staff on this campus. While such an emphasis perhaps didn't exist in the past, going forward, please accept our commitment to prioritizing the resources we have available to provide opportunities for professional development and advancement for both our faculty and our staff. In this regard, we'd like to mention today several of the programs that will be available to the faculty. First, in terms of both professional development, classroom performance, and the prestige of the college, it's important that we offer our students as highly credentialed faculty as possible. Therefore, we would like to announce today that we're committing $250,000 to the creation of a fund to assist faculty members who would like to pursue advanced degrees, including a PhD. While the provost will provide greater detail next week as to eligibility and application, in essence, the college will provide a loan to assist in paying for all or part of your costs of tuition and fees associated with getting a master's or doctorate program. If after the completion of the degree, the faculty member remains at Bluefield State for a period of 4 years, the loan will be forgiven. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that as a college, we can make no greater investment than that of investing in our people, and that our ability to grow both in size and in stature rests with our ability to provide and support high-quality faculty. The next program I'd like to mention, I'm going to start with a quote from Ben Franklin, and you perhaps have heard this throughout your career. Ben Franklin once said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, but involve me and I learn." There may be those among you who have an interest in academic leadership sometime in your future, or there may be those among you who are just interested in the operation of college in general. From our standpoint, we also believe it can be tremendously helpful for you to have a better understanding as to the administration of the college. Now, you could just read about it, or I could just stand up here and tell you about it. But like Franklin, we believe involving you is the best path to learning and understanding both the academic and administrative operations of our institution. Therefore, today we would like to announce the creation of the Executive Fellowship Program, which in the spring of 2022 will provide faculty fellows the opportunity for leadership training that will enhance their understanding of the operation of the college by working alongside the campus leadership team. More specifically, each fellow will rotate through the president's office and the office of each cabinet member. You'll be asked to keep a journal and then in the end write a white paper that will be delivered at the end of the semester. The fellowships will be open to all faculty members, and again, the provost's office will provide greater detail next week on the application and selection process. Now, to talk about professional development in general, we believe that professional development through attendance at professional conferences or seminars is important for maintaining best practices and improving the overall quality of our classroom delivery. Anecdotally, I've heard that support of these types of activities have been inconsistent at best. The current approach of allocating resources on a per faculty member basis often leads to requiring faculty for paying for a substantial portion of the costs of attendance. This year, our new CFO, Ronnie Hypes, will implement a new budget process that will solicit participation at the department level and provide the opportunity for all faculty to provide input into allocating resources within their budget unit for professional development. Unfortunately, the new process will not impact the budget until fiscal year 2022-2023. We really don't want to wait that long. So today we're announcing that monies will be set aside for professional development for the remainder of this academic year that will help fully fund these types of activities beyond the current allocation process. Once again, the provost will provide the process by which requests will be reviewed and approved. So those are the three programs that we'd like to announce today, and we kind of wanted to flesh them in from what we talked about with from the State of the College address. We'd like to close today with just a very brief discussion about campus discourse. Throughout history, one of the more noble elements of the college or university experience is the opportunity to engage in meaningful discourse that may address far-reaching global issues, critical national issues, or just issues that impact the campus. The great historian Richard Hofstadter once said, "A university's essential character is that of being a center of free inquiry and criticism, a thing not to be sacrificed for anything else." We agree. And a fruitful discourse begins with inquiry. Inquiry can arise out of a difference of opinion. It can rise out of doubt. It can also arise just out of curiosity, all of which are functions of an inquisitive mind that seeks the truth through research, analyzing data, or a thorough review of available sources of information. The opposite of inquiry is speculation, making unfounded claims based upon guesses or hunches or just complete fabrications. The difference between the two are important. Inquiry seeks to generate fact-based support for a particular position. Although both sides of an issue may find conflicting facts that support their respective positions, the product of inquiry can provide a basis for compromise and creating a solution that will satisfy the concerns of both parties. Inquiry can also build trust among the parties and fashion an environment that will be more conducive to addressing future problems in a spirit of cooperation and shared purpose. On the other hand, speculation reflects the unwillingness or the inability to seek the truth and is commonly the refuge of those who wish to merely sow the seeds of conflict or discontent or advance a narrative that may maintain a constant state of disruption. The result of discourse founded upon speculation is the fueling of an ongoing atmosphere of distrust and discord, which creates even greater hurdles to finding solutions for both the current and future problems. There are those who thrive upon speculation and conflict. Although I'm not sure their motives, we've all experienced the product of their efforts. Over the last 2.5 years, though, there have been times when inquiry and collaboration has produced compromises, mutual understanding, and the betterment of the campus. Last year, members of the faculty brought forth a concern regarding the impact of the board's academic objectives policy on many of the associate degree programs. They put forth a presentation that was well researched, it was fact-based, and it was reasoned. And as a result, changes were made that reflect circumstances that had not been anticipated at the time the policy was created. These recommendations were incorporated into the policy, and afterwards, a sense of collaboration and cooperation appeared to have begun. And for their efforts, we would like to thank all of those who were involved in that particular project. However, today there's an issue percolating on campus that is driven purely by speculation, instead of embracing the more noble approach of inquiry. And because over time a constant repeating of pure, unfounded speculation tends to morph into perceived fact, we feel it was important to come to you directly, the entire faculty, and address this issue. Last year, after the receipt of persuasive evidence and a thoughtful discussion, the Board of Governors approved the imposition of a fee for each additional hour taken in excess of 15 hours per semester. The purpose of such a fee was to provide a greater correlation between the courses taken by a student and the cost to the college in providing those courses. In other words, students paying for the benefits they receive. The following facts supported this approach. First, in 2020, we presented the Board of Governors a responsibility management study of Bluefield State College based upon a model that had been created by the University of Oregon. The study allocates and apportions revenue and expenses to each academic unit of the college to provide a snapshot of the ability of each unit to support itself financially. The result of this study demonstrated that despite relatively low salaries and a severe lack of supporting resources, none of the academic units at Bluefield State are self-supporting, with the nursing program coming the closest to actually achieving internal sustainability. Second, the current charge for tuition, one price for 12 hours and above, is a vestige of a time when all students took basically the same courses and had the same schedule with the same instructors. When you look at all the public and private colleges and universities throughout the country, this system is clearly an outlier, as most schools use price per credit hour, especially private institutions that are forced to survive without state subsidization. Yes, West Virginia colleges and universities still use it, but quite frankly, we still do a lot of stuff in this state that makes no sense in today's highly competitive academic marketplace. In West Virginia, all colleges and universities, including Bluefield State, have addressed this issue by providing programmatic and other fees for more costly programs. Third, most programs require at least 120 hours to receive a four-year undergraduate degree. Currently, a student taking 12 or more hours is considered a full-time student, despite the fact that after 4 years, a student taking the minimum would be 24 hours short of graduation, thus necessitating more courses over more years at more expense. Fourth, the tuition and fee structure adopted by the Board of Governors applies to the 16th hour and beyond, despite the fact that the statutory tuition pays for only 12 hours. In essence, all full-time students are already receiving 3 additional hours without additional charge. Fifth, and perhaps most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, there is no such thing economically as free. Someone has to pay salaries. Someone has to pay for other aspects of delivering a program. The 3 extra hours we provide now are not free, but they merely dilute the per credit price of the 12 hours that are charged as tuition. So what about the fee for hours 16 and more? Without such a fee, we still have to pay the cost of providing faculty, which means the cost of the 16th hour and beyond are shifted to those taking 15 hours and below through higher overall base tuition and increased programmatic fees. This semester, we have received $118,298 from 198 students from the imposition of this fee. The average student at Bluefield College right now takes slightly more than 12 hours per semester. If the students taking these additional hours did not pay for these additional hours, the cost would be shifted to the overwhelming number of other students through increased tuition or increased programmatic fees. The only other approach would be to reduce costs by eliminating these hours from faculty workloads and backfilling those workloads with additional students. Ladies and gentlemen, given the current burden that we place upon our faculty at this time, Clearly, such an option is not viable. Ladies and gentlemen, that's basic economics. The Board of Governors who adopted the fee unanimously took the position that is echoed by the vast majorities of colleges and universities throughout the country, that students should pay for the courses they take, and that students shouldn't have to pay for the courses that other students take. We understand that there are several concerns regarding this fee. And by the way, these concerns are well-intentioned. We certainly understand that. First, there's a claim that the fee places a hardship upon our students. As mentioned, for the fall of 2021, the fee impacted 198 students. We've heard anecdotally that there were several students upon whom this fee created a serious hardship, and we do not doubt the sincerity of that. However, the current claim of widespread hardship is speculation, since we've not been provided any evidence that would justify the elimination of the fee. We would truly welcome the results of such a well-reasoned inquiry. In the alternative, we would note that there currently is in place at this college a process in which any student can claim a hardship and seek the waiver of all or a part of any fee that is imposed by the college. I know about this process. It's been used on several occasions in just the 2.5 years in which we've been here. As such, that concern can be addressed. In this regard, let me add that we're extremely sensitive to the financial burden placed on West Virginia families who wish to send their children to college, or older students who wish to start and return to college. We mention this today because we've heard several remarks that have accused the leadership of this college of taking a posture of callous disregard of the financial hardship of our students. Let me say categorically that such an allegation goes beyond speculation and is not only untrue, but it's an affront to everyone in a leadership position at this institution. My dad worked shift work at the power plant for years. And you know why he worked shift work? So he could save money for me and my sister to go to college. And they saved the money. And my parents did without. And I worked in the summers, and I got a small scholarship. And even after all of that, finally we were able to pay for the $545 it costs in room, board, and tuition for my first semester of college. I know that doesn't sound like a lot today, but it was a lot back then. We didn't have a lot of spending money, but my parents were determined that I was going to get a college education. Casting dispersions on the motives of others through speculation and hyperbole has no place in campus discourse and should bring into a doubt the overall credibility of such a source. A second concern is that such a fee will hurt enrollment. This is really a bit puzzling in light of the substantial increases we're experiencing this year. In this, the first year in which the fee has been imposed, our full-time equivalency enrollment is up nearly 8%, with our headcount enrollment exceeding 12%. Moreover, and this is equally as important, the decline in continuing students is only 1.56%, which is substantially less than the college has experienced in recent years. The fact remains that tuition and fees at Bluefield State, even with the 16 and over fee, are still very competitive, especially in light of the value of education our students receive. Again, this is clearly a claim made upon speculation and not inquiry. We've heard a concern expressed that certain programs require students to take more than 15 hours in a semester, and that, quote, it's not fair that they should pay more through this fee. Let me make 2 points about that. First, every year students choose to enter a field of study that may or may not have varying amounts of fees over and above the base tuition, depending upon the program. Those fees recognize the varying costs associated with delivering those programs. This fee is no different. Second, as we noted previously, someone has to pay for the costs associated with delivering those hours beyond 15. In terms of fairness, I ask you this. Is it fair to shift those costs from students who do benefit from the program to students who don't? I don't think so. The fourth claim could be made that we're using the fee to fund pay raises for next year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a complete fabrication. First, we do not use dedicated revenue sources at this institution unless it's required by state or federal law. I was the Secretary of Tax and Revenue for 4 years. Dedicated sources were a nightmare. And quite frankly, they very often kind of hid a lot of costs, and they were done for political reasons. Because such an approach greatly limits your flexibility and your ability to focus resources on priorities. Secondly, it makes no sense to base pay for all employees on something as unrelated as a fee for additional hours taken. And third, quite frankly, it's not enough. The amount generated this year would not generate revenue large enough to provide the base building increases in wages and salaries that we believe are necessary. Members of the faculty, it's truly disheartening when inquiry and discussion and collaboration is replaced on the college campus with speculation, suspicion, rumor, assumption, and gossip. Treading in such untruths does nothing to advance the efforts of our campus. And those efforts should be focused on working together to move this institution forward. We have the opportunity for Bluefield State to become a model of collaboration. We've done it before. I've cited one circumstances, and there's others. There's nothing in our DNA that requires an adversarial approach to campus issues. We have countless opportunities to interact. You have a representative on the Board of Governors. I've had good discussions with your current faculty leadership and your faculty leadership prior. Last year we had a good exchange in this very room with the Board of Governors. Some people don't want to sit in a formal setting. So we've been sponsoring informal opportunities such as the recent coffee hour at the Big Blue Brew. Stop by. And that means you may not have a big issue, but you may just have a question. And in that regard, our door will always be open for discussion. Again, members of the faculty, we can be the model for campus discourse. Conversations and discussions that will not only build a better campus environment, but will greatly improve service to our students. Thank you very much.